We
Oh,
are.
there it is.
What's up?
What's up, my man? How are you?
You know what's weird is every time I get on like a live thing and I'm looking directly at myself, I have always the strangest feeling to fix my hair. Every time I'm like,
My- we've been doing Zoom conversations with my friends, and my friends say, you always do like a weird side eye where I'm like this. That's my nervous live tick where I'm like,
that would actually be a good drinking game since it's happy hour. Anytime we touch our face, which would be a good social distancing thing too. Anytime we touch our face, we have to take a drink.
Brad, have you done any of these like Zoom or house party happy hours with friends or the band or anybody?
We have done a few with our friends, and I don't know. I mean, it's always good, but I pace too much when I'm on the phone, so I end up just like pacing in and out of the conversation.
Sure. We've been doing it every Friday night with some friends, and we have the cheap version of Zoom that cuts off after 40 minutes. And now we've started playing a game that the last person talking, when it cuts off before you have to reconnect, has to take a shot. And everyone is just like wrecked by the end. Awesome. It's great. How have you been, man? How have things been the last couple of weeks for you?
Been good. Just taking a lot of like walks by ourselves, our family walks, and trying to, keep our sanity through all this. Making a lot of music. We've been all separately, kind of like we all have little studios at our houses, and we all been working on music. There we go.
Nice.
I'm actually down, just like everything's on my floor. No desk.
Right.
I just sit here until my legs go numb. And yeah, so yeah, just been doing the social distancing, self-quarantine, just trying to, get that curve.
Absolutely, man. It is definitely something that everybody needs to be doing. It seems like a lot of people are, and it does seem like it's making a difference, which is good, man. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot, especially like starting this week, that they're seeing some positive, some positive things come out of all of the social distancing and such. And so, I think we have to leave it to the doctors who know what they're talking about and trust them.
I agree.
And do what they say. It's not about an ego. It's more about, it's about taking care of people.
Absolutely. Well, I think that there's a lot of people watching this right now, and a lot of people listening on the radio that will be happy to hear that you guys have been a little productive though during this, and you have been working on music. That's good, man. That's good.
I'm just actually working on a cover before I called. A cover this time. You want to hear a little sneak peek?
I do. Yeah, totally.
Okay, tell me if you can figure it out. Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Is that coming through very clear?
Is that yes? Is that the Beatles?
No, it's Painted Black by Rolling Stones.
Woo! Rolling Stones. I knew I recognized it. Now I feel dumb because this video will be encapsulated in time, and I got it wrong, and now I feel.
You know what? That's not a bad guess, though. I mean, two legendary groups.
Painted Black. Gosh, sorry. So, Brad, I quit. So have a great day. See you later. I'm out of here. Bye now. No. That's awesome.
Oh, is that your happy hour?
This is my happy hour's lame, dude. I got the Kirkland signature water.
Well, you know what? I'm addicted to sparkling water, so it's not that lame.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Absolutely. I wanted to ask about, did you guys just score the music for a movie? Is that something that's happened or has come out recently? It's called Gold Dust.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Matt did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw something. If that was just a Matt thing, then that's a Matt thing. It was certainly billed as a Cage the Elephant thing, but it was just Matt. It was just Matt. I had not talked to you since Grammy night in January, which seems like 50 years ago.
The last good night in the world.
Yeah, totally. I wanted to ask what you remembered about that night.
I remember having another really bad Grammy speech.
That's bullshit. And I can say that because that's bullshit. That was a great speech, man.
We have historically, like, the first Grammy that we won, Matt thanked his shoes. I thought it was important to thank Chance the Rapper a few times. We had nothing written down. We forgot so many people. I was like so worried that like Christine, our day-to-day, she worked so hard for us, and I like we did not even mention her name. I was like, oh my God, this is the most. And then last time, Matt, because we just don't expect to win those sort of things, and you always have somebody in your mind that you think is going to win other than yourself. And so Matt had written last time. We didn't write anything. This time Matt wrote a poem, and he was just going to say the poem. We're going to thank some people and then be gone and just keep it simple. Well, we were surprised that we won, and the poem was on Matt's phone, and Matt left his phone in his bag at his seat. And so the whole time we got up there, I mean, we thanked like a couple people that were very close with us, and then Matt was like scurrying through his pockets the whole time on the stage, looking very panicked. And so I was like, oh God, I better say something. And so like I got on the podium and I started talking about some of just the hardships that we had went through previously to making the record, during making the record, and following the record's release. And I like literally hit like the dad cry moment where I was like, my voice got all wavery and it broke, and I was like, and I was like, on top of feeling all the emotional stuff that I was going through and some happy feelings of winning the Grammy, and then I was like, I'm ruining the speech again in real time. Tears for several reasons.
That's so funny, man. I watched that speech this morning, and I do not think you're giving yourself enough credit, because yes, Matt went up there and he was looking for the speech throughout his coat and all that. And I thought you jumped in and winged it and gave kind of a real emotional, real kind of touching anecdote about what this album was and kind of what it meant to win the award. I thought it was good, man. It was real good.
Yeah, it's so weird, honestly, how the evolution in our own lives, what that record has meant to us and what it stands for, because a lot of the stuff that Matt was going through in his relationship and that sort of thing, which started a lot of the songwriting lyrically, and then us also losing family members and friends and that sort of thing throughout the process of recording the record, made all that stuff so much more real and in a different light. And then even as we released the week that we released Goodbye, we had two of our close friends pass away like days before. So that song took on a whole new meaning. And now we look about it like, it's a lot of it. It's about self-isolation. And now I'm sitting here in my house and I'm like, we're living out this record too long.
Oh, that's so funny. I wanted to get your perspective real quick. I think there's probably a lot of people watching right now who have heard the name but don't know about the music of John Prine.
My gosh, John Prine is a legend to most people who know of his music, if not all. But I don't know. We had a very special spot for John Prine because, one, he was from Kentucky. And like I literally grew up, my father would play us, Daddy, don't you take me back to Muhlenberg County. And then he would also play Flag Decal. Your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore.
I listened to it this morning.
Which is so relevant in the times that we live in right now too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think everything that he writes is constantly relevant because he writes about life. And we took such a big note from him writing about real life experiences and stories of the things that he's been through, and also just how descriptive he was within his songwriting. He was such a craftsman to say something poetically, but say it so point blank that it was even more poetic.
Totally.
And I don't know, he just had a great impact, and it's so sad to see him go. And a lot of people go, you know, everybody that this shows that it affects everyone. This you know, this virus, and it like, you know, it's just it's incredibly sad how, you know, how many lives have been turned upside down.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And it's so funny because, yeah, like I said at the beginning, I feel like so many people probably at some point or another have heard the name John Prine, and I felt like your perspective as a musician and being kind of from where you were from was welcome, and I was happy to hear it. It was yeah. It's a sad thing.
Yeah, I you know, it's just he and he was still putting out music, so you know, it's, you know, that's the good, the I guess if there's any silver lining, I don't even like to use that term, but if there's anything that we can take from it, is the words that he left behind and the songs that he left behind, and how many people's lives that he touched in a positive way.
Yeah. And
you know, we have that, and you know, it's just
totally
it's a sad thing.
To say, speaking of finding positives, obviously the world out there is kind of a gnarly place right now, but people have done a good job of finding positives in the situation that they're in right now. What have you enjoyed about the last couple? You've been forced in the last couple of weeks, I'm sure, and nobody wants to be in this situation for the reasons they are. But has there been anything that you've liked about kind of being home and being, you know, and doing all that?
Yeah, I think you said it right there. Being home, like being on tour. I love to be on tour, do what we do. But you know, I have a 6-year-old and a just like a 5-month-old now. So, it's, you know, being away from them is the only downside of tour. Them and my wife, of course. Yeah. But my wife's like, "What about me?" No.
What did you say on that thing?
No. Yeah. You know, that is the only downfall. To this, you know, being away and touring and that sort of thing. But it's been such a positive thing to be back with them and you know, constantly, you know, we live our day-to-day life from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed right next to each other. So it's like, just trying to soak in all that time, actually getting back to nature and like doing these nature walks and stuff. I forgot how much that I like actually enjoy being outside. And because, you know, I mean, 99% of the stuff that I do is inside, recording, playing shows, you know, even before the shows. Like, we spent so much time in the dressing room. You build yourself, you build a shell around yourself that you don't really realize is there until it's not. And then you know, and it is in a different sense, we're kind of all in our own little shells, but it's like I'm getting out and doing things that I wouldn't normally do because the hustle bustle of everyday life isn't really there right now. So getting outside and enjoying that, recording music, I love, you know, I've been loving that. And then like I also like just like having a few beers and then like making some music just down here by myself and vibing out, and then I'll like FaceTime somebody and I'll be down here like, yeah.
That's great, man. Yeah.
This is from the other night.
I've got a few of those. I know what that is.
That's my wine spill. So
that's great. Yeah, there's no doubt that the circumstances that got us here are less than ideal. But this is a giant reset for so many people, and put a lot of things into perspective, and ultimately a lot of good can come out of this very bad thing, I think.
Yeah, I think another thing that's just, I guess, an unforeseen thing when all this stuff started to happen is that Surprise, surprise. When we're not out that much, the environment makes a little bit of a recovery.
No kidding. LA on Monday had the cleanest air in the world. There was some official report. Like, it is gorgeous here right now. So I mean, it's nice. It's nice to see.
So
Who knew?
We have that, and you know, we're gonna get through it too, and it will make, you know, there's a lot of things that will come out of this. People will become closer family members, and you really hopefully gain perspective of what you have, and you're thankful for that.
Absolutely.
And the environment's doing good right now.
Love it.
And I'm gonna think of one more good thing right now.
You're working on Rolling Stone covers?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, honestly, in times like this, historically, there's been huge progressives within science and that sort of thing, because people are pushing for, you know, which will make people's lives better and at a higher quality in the future. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad, thanks for taking the time to connect with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm gonna just stay on here.
let's be here.
Let's just hang out. I have 2 or 3 more beers.
I'm gonna go home to my wife and I'm gonna be like, I had the best conversation with Brad today. The guy is awesome, and you'll never guess what song I couldn't name.
Oh, here we go. We'll end it on this.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, I gotta plug it back in. We got it. Let's hear. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna close the show out.
I'm turning it down. Here we go.
There we go. All right, see ya.
That's awesome, Brad. Thanks, man. Have a good one. See you, bud.
All right, see you. Bye.